All right, hey guys, Dr. Sean here. We're going to go through something that I've observed clinically in practice in the last several months. I've had numerous patients coming through the door saying, Doc, I can't breathe after I had COVID. I'm running out of energy after I had COVID. I'm going on my walk with my dog and I can't get 3 blocks before I'm huffing for air. I've had patients come in and say, Doc, man, my heart is doing funny things. I'm getting a little flutter, little pity pats, all those things, and they're not normal. And this is months, some people a year after they've had COVID. Well, what I've noticed with this in practice, it's kind of following that long haul term they used. These symptoms hanging on afterwards. Well, we stumbled across a way to stop it. Or at least I've seen it now several hundred times in practice over the last 6 months. Caitlin's going to join me today. And it all starts with a tape measure. That cloth tape measure that mom or grandma had in the sewing kit, get it out. You're going to need this for this. What we're going to do is we're going to wrap the tape measure around the chest. This is called chest expansion. It's an old medical test. You don't see a lot of docs doing it anymore because it's time consuming. And everything anymore is modernized. We're using all the machines to tell us this and tell us that. But what I've noticed with my patients, they'll come in and they all have pulse oximeters now. Everyone's got a pulse ox after COVID because they're, oh, let's see how much oxygen you have. But they're all running high. They're all 95, 96, 97, 98% oxygen. So I started thinking, well, it can't be that there's not enough oxygen there. What's wrong? And then it clicked. Then I thought to myself, oh, I wonder if they can inflate the lung far enough. I wonder if the lung is not blowing up enough. So even if they've got perfect oxygen, if you stuff a balloon into a Pepsi can, it can only go as far as the can will allow. Well, your rib cage, guys, is your can. And if you had COVID and you coughed a lot, the ribs just tighten down, tighten down, tighten down until they get so tight, they won't release this. So when you go to, it bumps up against the wall of the ribs and the lungs can't expand any further. Now you say, well, Doc, I didn't cough during mine. Well, this is the big surprise for me. I also found that patients who didn't have the coughing still had the tightness. Maybe it was due to the fever. Something made the body stiff and rigid and achy, almost cataleptic to some degree. And it got all tight like that, but it never released it. So let's find out. Go dig out your tape measure from your sewing kit, and we're going to use this. So what I'll do with a patient in practice, and Caitlin's going to help me. I say, all right, Caitlin, let's move our arms up a little bit. We'll reach around with our tape measure. We'll put it up against high on the chest. And all you're going to do is crisscross these things in the back. Now, in her case, it's like 15 and 50. Those are the 2 numbers that show up. What I'm looking for is when she takes a big breath in, when she inhales, I want to see those lungs and that rib cage expand in a woman 2 full inches. In a male, 3 full inches. So take that breath in real big. And then let it all the way out. And I'm watching it slide. Now she's moving about 1.5 inches. Okay? So we know, did you have COVID?
Yes.
All right. Right? And you feel okay though, don't you? You don't have any breathing problems? So in her case, she's like, gosh, Doc, I feel fine. And I had COVID. But she didn't move 2 to 3 full inches. Something's not right. So you use this tape measure to get you in the ballpark and say, okay, is there something compressing this? Now, the next thing you're going to look for, 2 reflexes, muscle contraction. I'm going to move your do, young lady. 2 reflexes. There's one right here in the front side of the arm. It's like your collarbone, you fall into a little divot. We're going to go right there. And I'm feeling that to see if it's sore. It's not over here. Do you feel that there?
Yes.
I do too. Which tells me, ooh, that lung's working too hard. For some reason, it's working too hard. And that's lung 1 in acupuncture. Now, there's one more. This one's up on the shoulders, up across here, right? They call it the universal stress point. And I can definitely feel she's got that one. You tell?
Yes.
Yeah. And they hurt, don't they?
Yeah.
So this one shows up. So this is called a ribs reflex or a universal stress point. Now, what is it telling me? This one up here in the front saying, man, that lung is working too hard for some reason. For some reason, it's not inflating all the way. The one up on top of the shoulders is saying you're lacking the grease for the rib heads. The fronts, and the back. So when she goes to move that cage, it's almost like a rusty nut in a bolt. It's not letting it go. Oh, you got to WD-40 these things. So what I would tell all of you, without knowing what supplements are for these things, I would say to myself, okay, how can I grease this up? Start looking to fats in your environment. Look to butters, egg yolks, cold water fish, cod, perch, halibut, salmon. Look into nuts and seeds that are high in good fat. Start putting those in your diet every day. Try to give the body the grease it needs to get these things gliding again. Then we're going to give you an exercise. Now in practice, I would literally move the cage. I would go through, I would adjust everything, get all of the fixations out of the way, and then give her the fatty acids and a little exercise. You guys aren't with me, so we got to see if this will fix it from a distance. Here's how you do it though. Won't you know? So if you literally do this and it works and it frees that cage up, then that tape measure is going to move more. Give yourself a week to 10 days to see if you can make a change and you can get rid of all this stuff. Now watch what happens. We're going to start here with the breathing exercise. I'm going to take my little hook fingers. I'm going to go right under the arms right here. I'll put a knee behind her, right between the shoulder blades. I'm going to ask her to take a breath in for a count of 4. And then I'm going to have her hold the breath for a count of 4. And then release the breath for a count of 4. But when she breathes in, I'm going to roll her open. So breathe in big, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 2, 3, 4, then let it out, and I release her. Now I'm doing this with the knee, and I do it in practice to show her what I want her to do when she's not here, when she doesn't have someone sticking their big knee in the middle of her shoulder blades. How can she do this at home? I'll repeat this 2 or 3 times with them in practice until they really get a feel when they're sideways or what's it like to really open that up, to squeeze those shoulder blades together as you're opening the chest up, and then let everything release and relax as you're exhaling. You do this 10 times, and I need you to do it 4 times a day. Do it when you get up, do it when you go to bed, catch it at lunch, catch it at dinner. It's easy. Make sure you're putting those fats in around this exercise. So when you're eating your eggs in the morning, think, hey, I'm going to put this egg yolk in here to grease these up. And when I get it all greased up after eating, I'm going to sit there and move it a little bit. Make it work. 7 to 10 days later, guys, this should change your life. It should absolutely improve that breathing effect. And let's find out, just for fun. We did it 2, 3 times, and I didn't loosen anything else. Let's see what happened. You ready? Lift those little arms up. We'll go around you. And you, young lady, take that breath in. And let it all the way out. Day and night different already? Yeah. See, that's how simple it works. It's literally that easy. All I did was move everything. And she already went 2 1/4. All right, so the line, you can feel it, can't you? Yeah. It's like, wow, that's surprising because you don't expect it. Okay, so for all of you that are out there that are really struggling with this, guys, it's that simple. Get out your cloth tape measure, have someone help you to measure to see where it's going, where it's not. Then you do your breathing exercises, put those good fats in the diet. That'll keep it greased up and moving, and you can turn this whole breathing, heart thing, all that compression stuff, you can get all that to turn around in no time. I'm Dr. Sean. I'm the Robin Hood of Healthcare.